people call you cold because you don't explain your feelings anymore, they may not know how many times your honesty was punished. You are not hard to read because you feel nothing. You are hard to read because every time you opened up, someone misunderstood it, used it, minimized it, or left. So now you measure every word before you give it away. You smile, but not too much. You answer, but not too deeply. You stay kind, but you keep a part of yourself behind a locked door. People may call that mysterious. You became difficult to read because being readable once hurt. Maybe you were not always like this. Maybe there was a time when you tried to explain everything. You sent long messages because you believed clarity could save connection. But then you learned that honesty does not always bring closeness. Sometimes it brings judgment. Sometimes it becomes evidence against you. Sometimes it makes people call you dramatic, needy, too sensitive, complicated, or hard to love. After enough of that, a person changes. Not loudly, quietly. They stop giving the full answer. They stop showing the first tear. They stop saying, "That hurt me," and start saying, "It's fine." They stop reaching for comfort and start reaching for control. This is where people misunderstand hurt people the most. They think silence means distance. But sometimes silence means, "I do not know if it is safe to be honest here." Maybe someone asks what is wrong, and your first instinct is not to tell them. Your first instinct is to protect yourself from their reaction and choose the smallest sentence that ends the conversation. "I'm just tired. It's nothing. I'll be okay." And maybe you will be okay, but that does not mean nothing happened inside you. It means you learned how to bleed quietly. There is one habit that makes guarded people look colder than they really are. They edit themselves in real time. You may feel a lot, but by the time your words leave your mouth, they have been softened, shortened, polished, and made safe for other people. You turn pain into humor. You turn anger into silence. You turn loneliness into independence. You turn disappointment into no worries. And because you perform calm so well, people forget to ask what it costs you. But the most painful part is not that you became quiet. It is why quiet started feeling safer than honesty. Maybe when you opened up before, someone changed the subject. Maybe they listened once, then treated you differently. Maybe they promised they would stay, then disappeared when your feelings became inconvenient. So you learned a rule no one should have to learn. Only show what people can handle. That rule may have protected you once, but it can also trap you now. You may want closeness and still step back when it arrives. You may crave reassurance and still feel ashamed for needing it. You may miss someone deeply and still reply with 3 plain words. You may want to be chosen, but freeze when someone comes closer. From the outside, it can look like mixed signals. Inside, it feels like a war between the part of you that wants to be loved and the part of you that remembers what happened last time. Come closer. No, not too close. Please stay. No, I cannot need you. I want to tell you. No, it is safer if I do not. That is not manipulation. That is fear wearing self-control. And here is the twist. Guarded people are often not hard to read because they are empty. They are hard to read because they are full of things they were never allowed to express safely. Full of unfinished conversations. Full of apologies they never received. Full of love they are scared to show. Full of pain they had to make look normal. So, if this is you, the goal is not to shame your guard. That guard had a reason. It learned the sound of disappointment. It learned the face people make when they are tired of your feelings. Your guard is not stupid. It is experienced, but sometimes the same guard that protected you from unsafe people also blocks safe people from reaching you. That is where healing gets complicated. Because the question is no longer, why am I like this? The better question is this person unsafe? Or is my body reacting to a memory? Maybe someone asks about your day with real care, and your chest still tightens. Maybe someone stays calm when you are honest, and you still wait for punishment. Healing does not mean trusting everyone. It means learning to notice the difference between a real threat and an old alarm. You do not have to open every door. You do not have to explain your deepest pain to someone who has only earned a shallow answer. You do not have to become easy to read for people who are only curious, careless, or impatient. But you also do not have to stay misunderstood forever because the wrong people once made honesty feel unsafe. There is a softer way. Start with one small truth. Not the whole story. Not the deepest wound. Just one sentence that lets air into the locked room. I'm quieter today because I'm overwhelmed. I want to talk, but I need time. That hurt me, even if I do not know how to explain it perfectly. I shut down when I'm scared of being misunderstood. These sentences may look small from the outside, but for someone who has spent years hiding, they are brave. Then watch what happens next. Does the person listen without turning it into a fight? Do they ask questions to understand, not to attack? Do they stay gentle when you are not easy? If someone punishes your honesty, that is information. If someone holds it carefully, that is safety. Safe people do not force the locked room open. They sit outside the door long enough for you to believe they are not there to harm you. And maybe that is what you needed all along. Someone who understands that distance is not always disinterest. Sometimes it is self-protection. You are not cold because you take time to open. You are not broken because you have layers. But the people who truly care about you cannot meet the real you if the real you is never allowed to breathe. So maybe healing begins with one gentle risk. Before you say, "I'm fine," pause and ask yourself, am I safe enough to say one honest sentence? When someone asks what is wrong, you do not have to tell the whole story. You can say, "I'm overwhelmed, but I don't know how to explain it yet." You became hard to read because being readable once hurt. But you do not have to remain a closed book forever. You can choose the hands that are allowed to turn the pages. You can choose the pace. You can choose safety without choosing isolation. You are not trying to be mysterious. You are trying to survive being misunderstood. And now, slowly, you are learning that being seen does not always have to hurt. Again, if this made you feel a little less alone, subscribe to Empty But Aware. This is where we turn hidden emotional patterns into soft psychology stories that help you feel seen.